Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Talk with Tigho podcast. Today conversation we touch on nerves, but you know what? It will also open hearts and awaken truths. You know what we bring to the table? I do this work because I've seen what happens when we lose ourselves in the name of love. Too many people shrink, silence their voices, and forget their words, only to be left empty. My mission is simple: to help you reconnect with yourself first. So every relationship you build flows from a place of wholeness. And today we are diving into something so many people experience, but often can put into words. That slow, silent surrender of your voice, your values, your boundaries, giving out all that makes you you in a relationship or in the hope that it will keep someone you love from leaving. It's called self-abandonment in relationships. But here is the truth. When you lose yourself to keep them, you lose both. So today I am here with two amazing guests. Mother of two, married for over 17 years, a nice lover of God, and I call this woman independent, strong, determined, and empathic. Please help me welcome Mrs. Emarita Okah. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you made it here today. And the second girl is a mother of three. Am I right? Yeah.
Yes.
And the second girl is a mother of three, married for over 16 years. She is a registered nurse and a midwife. You know how I consider her? Strong, compassionate, hardworking, determined, and reliable. Welcome, Mrs. Chichi Ossai. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, and thank you
So
for having
nice
me.
to have the both of you here. I'm so happy we're doing this together today. All right. Together, we're going to unpack why we abandon ourselves in relationships, what it costs us, and most importantly, how to reclaim the version of ourselves that existed before we started shrinking. So, let me ask this. Have you ever thought about this question or this topic before? Is it something that has reflected in your memory? And what does this truly mean to you personally?
So people often put a lot of values on selflessness, so emotional loss doesn't get the attention it needs. We are taught that making other people happy, especially those we care about or love, is a sign of love and or loyalty. But the truth is that you can't really be there for other people if you have lost yourself in the process.
Hmm.
So putting other people's needs, wants, and standard ahead of your own is what I think as emotional abandonment.
Wow, that is powerful. And if I would ask, have you ever said yes where you really wanted to say no, just to keep the peace?
Um, I would say yes, that happens in life, whether we like it or not. Sometimes there are situations that we can't avoid in our life, be it in the workplace or within your family unit. I think the difference is when you are in a relationship with somebody and you always say yes to things that you want to say no. Um, there are things that you compromise on. You know, every now and then you're like, okay, yeah, that's okay. I will say yes now. But I think the danger is saying yes consistently when it doesn't sit well with you. When you know in your heart you would rather say no, and you're always saying yes, and that is when we start losing ourselves. That is when we start crossing our boundaries that we've set up for ourselves.
Hmm. And it is she. What do you have to say to that?
Well, so yes, there has been situations when I have said yes when I should have said no, but like Emma said, most of them are at like workplaces, you know. You are saying yes even when you should say no just because you want to please your boss. However, in a relationship, like in relationship with friends and husband, um, yes, but hasn't let it affect me. You know, I have said yes when I should say no. However, that did not affect me. I did negatively. I did not allow it to linger. Like it's not something I continuously do, and then in the process I lose myself. So yeah, no, yeah.
So if I may ask, why do you think so many persons, okay, lose themselves just to feel love? What is the reason behind it?
I don't think with people that tend to do that, I don't think they start off with that being their intention. I think it's the other party is not reciprocating what they are offering, like they're giving themselves as they are, and they feel the other person is not taking them for who they are, so they start to make little adjustments to their original self. And before you know, over time they become this whole other person that even they themselves can't even recognize. They don't start with, oh, I'm going to change myself to love this person. No, it's because the other party is not really seeing them for who they are. And yeah, they don't say that like that. I just feel it comes from a place of despair. It comes from a place of um what would I use? It's just being able, you want to please somebody or you want somebody to see you, but they are not. So it just comes to the place for somebody to desire you. And by the time you know it, you are just, changing your personality in order to please, the other party.
All right.
I think some people that I think some people do that just to like don't let other people down. They feel like if they say no, they're letting other people down. But in many cases, you end up forgetting yourself just because you don't want to let other people down. So I think most reasons is you don't want to let other people down. You want them to know that you love and care for them. But in the process, you lose yourself, you know, and especially when they are not returning that to you as well.
So can we say that some of the reasons why people behave that way or they act that way could be from our upbringing, could be from because of how we were brought up, the conditional love that we were, used to growing up, where you do something good, fine, you are loved. Where you don't do something good, fine, you have a punishment, you know what I mean? Or maybe people coming from a kind of trauma of not really having a lovely home to grow up in, and they feel if I can just keep doing this, somebody will love me in return. Somebody will see that I'm very nice. I'm a very good person, Could there be some reasons like that?
It could be. You can trace it back to that. Like you said, we grew up in household that love is conditional. Love is based on your academic grades. Love is based on how well you listen. Growing up, like, coming into a society like this, people love their children no matter what. If they are failing at school, they still love them. But yeah, so I think it can stem from that people that grew up in settings like that will go through life trying to please, trying to be this good person so that they can feel the love, they can get the commendation that they feel they should be getting. So rather than just being themselves and people seeing them for who they are and commending them and loving them and just seeing them, that they go an extra mile. They do put on this show for people to see them and for them to get a comment that they desire or that they feel that they should be having.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it can just be anything. It can just be because that is all what that person truly knows
Yeah.
how to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
And
know,
and
sometimes,
coming from Africa background
yeah,
where in the olden days, because I know things have really changed now. I mean, people are beginning to like show more love and care and
yeah,
actually say it
yeah.
to their relative, to their loved ones, to their children, I love you, I love you. But growing up in the olden days, you hardly hear a parent actually tell their child, I love you. Like that affirmation is not done. It's not said, you know.
It wasn't there.
It
Yeah.
wasn't there. It's not because they don't love you. They love you
Yeah.
and they show it in actions, you know, but they don't actually. People want to like grow up to want to please people so that they are pleasing or doing everything for them that affirmation and say I love you, you know. And then in the process of trying to please them, you forget yourself. So it could be from upbringing, you know, just seeking that love and attention, most especially on the other hand for people who didn't receive much love and care growing up, and as they've grown they want that love and care. So they are trying to prove a point, like doing everything possible for the other person to like love them so that they can feel loved. But in the process, they forget themselves.
Exactly.
And also one point to note, not this is not based on like someone seeking love. It comes, it's an intergenerational thing if we're talking about the context of us growing up in Africa. And that even I have friends that are married to that are interracial married, so a Nigerian married to another race. And one complaint that I get from the other race, they always say, I know my husband loves me, but he never says it. He never expresses it to me. I know he loves me. So I think this thing just carries on from generation to generation, and it's up to us to sort of break that cycle, because you not telling your spouse that you love them or not telling your kids that you love them, it's not good enough, because they might still end up growing up and going
Not
through that
telling.
cycle again,
Yeah.
looking for someone to tell them I love you,
Okay.
looking for someone to give them that hug and that,
That affirmation that they are
affirmation
valued.
that you,
Yeah.
yeah, that you are loved, you are not there's nothing wrong with you, or you don't have to have good grades for you to be
Yeah.
loved. You are loved just as you are. So
Yes.
it really, it's a far-reaching sort of thing going on with that.
Yeah. Because the truth is, if you don't start doing that for your children and for everyone you truly love, like what Ima said, then you are not doing well at all. You are not breaking the cycle, because it leaves a kind of void in our heart.
Yeah.
People are in the world today searching for true love, forgetting the fact that where you can bring up your child in a way that he knew and he knows that he's truly loved, that child grows up truly loving himself for who he or she is.
Yeah.
He doesn't need validation from an outsider.
That's true.
So until we understand these basic facts and start, intentionally, developing that art and, making sure that our children are not starved of this thing called love, then it's something that is going to continue for a very long generation.
Yeah.
Because thank God we are all from Africa. It was never there. And for me, I was from a polygamous home. Fine, when my mom was alive, it was a very good life. But immediately she died, it wasn't business as usual. And, as a child, you are struggling to really find this love because you want to really be fed. You want your presence to be fed. You just want that tender love. But it was not really there. So I still want to say that for many losing themselves today, there is this urge, this hunger in them that they are looking for somebody to feel. And they feel by doing that is by, just over-giving, over-pleasing, giving everything they know about themselves. They don't mind, throwing it to the dish, and just because somebody wants to show to them that I love you.
Yeah.
So I think that is one very big challenge, and it's something we have to really look into. But the painful part is this. I sometimes when I was preparing for this podcast, really, the scripture that came to mind was that Genesis 25 of Esau and Jacob. I remember that, and I was like, oh, just for something that will satisfy for a moment, it gave up something that is so priceless. So this brings us back to the point that how can we make sure that, or let me say, is it possible, or let me say, do you think that society teaches us, to the men and the women, the young of this generation, do you think society is actually adding to this urge to actually shrink ourselves just to feel loved, or just to find love?
Yes, society plays a role in that. Like, everything is on social media. Everyone is bringing up this persona that is different from who they are. And at the end of the day, you go on social media, you meet someone meets you, and this is the persona that you have presented, and that is who they know. That is the person that they know, because that is what they've seen on social media. That is what they know. And at the end of the day, you begin a relationship, and it means you have abandoned that real you, that person that you are, core in your core. You have abandoned them. Now you have to put on this show. You might be on social media doing it for clicks or doing it for money or whatnot, but at the end of the day, you found love there. But this person has fallen in love with a character, not the real you. Now that what happens, you abandon yourself. You abandon yourself with all of your boundaries, with all of your principles, with all of the ideas you have about life. You abandon that, and you start living a life of social media. In real life, what you have given to that person, that is what they are saying. If you try and become the real you along the line, it's not going to happen. You might, at the end of the day, along the line, you might be unhappy with this life that you're living, because you are crossing boundaries. You are making concessions that you're not, in normal time you are not supposed to do. You are making all of those concessions. Boundaries are being crossed. You are saying yes to situations that you're supposed to say no to. So society making everything about social media, making everything about plastics, is all about the appearance, is all about how you show up, is making us abandon our real self and looking for other type of affection, other type of love, for people to see us as, this funny, happy going person, when deep down inside, that's not who you really are.
And I'm also going to say, yes, society plays a major role in this self-abandonment. From another angle, in the society, everybody's like, oh, I'm married, I've got children. That person goes, oh, I'm married, I've got this, I'm in a relationship. And then you that is already in a relationship, you suffering there, but you cannot leave, because you don't want to be the one to be seen as someone who have left the relationship, and so you abandon yourself, and then trying to please your partner, trying to please your spouse, just so you stick to that relationship. You keep carrying on in that relationship, because you do not want the society to see you as someone who cannot keep a relationship. You do not want the society to see you as someone who cannot, like, be in a marriage for a long time. You do not want to be called the single lady. You don't want to be called that. And so you just abandon yourself. You are pleasing and pleasing and pleasing, and you keep pleasing. you forget yourself. You know, you let go of your self-esteem. You let go of your uniqueness just to please that man, just so he doesn't say, I don't want it anymore. But then you just like forget yourself, abandon yourself, and you lose yourself in the whole process. So yes, society contributes.
Thank you so much. But what I'm thinking here is this. Now, these are situations of you are already in the marriage. What happened before you got married to that person? Why? You know, okay. I saw a recent post going on, or a recent viral video going on. An actress that got married just in April, coming out in August to say that he's no more interested in the marriage. That the husband he married is not the man she thought the man was, so he cannot cope. But the question really is this: was there a space in between the courtship where you did not? Is it that you didn't get your values right, or there was a space of just letting go of your uniqueness just because maybe I want to get married, or could it because of maybe some pressure from somewhere? Because if truly, before you get married, I believe you should know that person to an extent, isn't it? Right?
Very
Is
important.
it not important?
Yes.
Good. Because that is one of the video that I saw, and I was wondering, like, this is just within 3 months into marriage. In such a scenario, what do you think went wrong?
I think she ignored. I would not say she missed. She ignored all the signs. She ignored all the red flags, as they say. She explained it away. She excused all of the red flags away. This is normal, typical behavior for people who want to be in a relationship, who don't want to be alone. She ignored all those signs because there's no way that you stay with somebody for 3 months and let's say they've been dating for 3 months. They dated 3 months and got married, 3 months later, that she did not see those signs, that she only saw
within 3 months
just
after
3 months
flamboyant marriage.
I know. So she has seen all of those signs and she just explained it away, or she allowed the guy to explain it away. She allowed the guy to defend himself and say, no, don't worry about that, and sort of pretty much gaslighting her that what she's saying is not what she's saying. No, it's not actually like that. This. And she bought into it. And who knows? Maybe they were not living together before they got married, because at the end of the day, two people coming together and staying in one house, it's another challenge on its own. Like that is, I went through that. I've gone through that, and it's a challenge on its own. Two people that have never lived together. Now, she ignored all of the red flags, came into the marriage, and now living with him. I think she must have felt like choked up before she decided to leave within 3 months. It means that whatever she saw before, it's nothing compared to what she's seeing now. So for her to come out and say that, oh, the man she married before is not the man she knew. No, it's exactly the same person. You just explain his actions away. You just excuse his actions because you want to get married. So not until women, we have to be courageous, even though we know we really want to get married, but you are seeing this person in front of you and you're like, this is a risk. Once that doubt is there, there's no need going into the marriage, because the way you head in is the same way you will head out. It's either, and courage to her, kudos to her for even having that courage to come out of the marriage. Like what Chichi said, the way society is, we don't want to be called divorcees. We don't want to be the person that left their marriage, because people are going to point fingers at us as that woman that couldn't keep a marriage. But instead of her to sit down there and suffer both emotionally, or maybe it could be physical as well, we don't know. Instead of her to sit there and take all of that from that man, she decided to leave. Did she know all of this? Yeah, I would say yes. She saw all of this. Right? There's no way the man didn't show signs of who he is before they got married.
Yeah, I love that, but I want to ask, do you think they were like base of the same feather? Is there a part of her that was not real? Because I want to believe that men truly they are attracted to they are drawn to those who keep their voice rather than those who give it up, like those that pretend, those that perform. Do you get what I'm saying? So are you sure she met this man with her real self? Is it after getting married now she realized her real self? That is my own concern here. Because if she was really real to herself, like what you said, she would have seen that signs and she would have known that this man wasn't for me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why she explained it away. I think it
yeah,
still goes to show what her goal is. Some
yeah.
people, their goal is just to get married. Like they ignore every other thing for them to get married. You know, Chichi, if you want to chip in and yeah.
Yeah, Emerita is right. So you are in a relationship with someone, you are seeing all these red flags, you decide to like push it away. Oh, he's gonna change. I will make him a better man. Let me
Yeah.
use that word. I will change him. Honestly, you cannot change a man. You can't. You can't change a man from who he is really. I mean, you can talk about it. If you see that you talk about it and he starts to change, fine. But if it's something that is repeatedly, he's a repetition. He keeps doing that. And he keeps explaining himself away. He keeps doing that. And he keeps explaining himself away. And you end up into that marriage. Of course, at that point, he's going to, who cares? Even explain to you anymore. He's just
Yeah.
going to go ahead and do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, it's pretty much this is who you know who I
You
am
know
before you
me,
married me.
but you
You
married
know,
me
this is me,
anyways.
you know?
Yeah. So really, I don't think the man changed. I don't think, because people don't really change that much. And I think it becomes really hard when both parties come into one space. We are all individuals, no individual is the same. No individual think alike. No
Yeah.
individual does things the same way. A different mother gave birth to your partner, and a different mother gave birth to you. So definitely you will still have that difference in the home. But let it not be that those differences are so bad that, and you know it, and you still get into that marriage with the aim of changing that person. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be exhausting for you to change that person. And in the process, you will just burn out. You will get tired. You will get exhausted.
Yeah, and that's where she abandoned herself. She left herself during the courtship part of the relationship. She abandoned who she is. She abandoned her true beliefs, her boundaries, how a man should be. She knows how a man is supposed to treat a woman. And she abandoned all of that and let the man explain it all away. And she got married. So that is where she has abandoned herself. It's not as if it's not her true self. She's just like, oh, I'm just gonna give it my all and do what I can so that he gets married to me.
Wow. All right. Just knowing the difference, because we are not from the same parent. Even children that are from the same parent, they have their unique difference. So let alone someone from different background and all that and all that. How do you really spot the difference? Because yes, another story here, a lady that was dating a man for over almost a decade and just realizing that the so-called boyfriend was getting married, went to the reception hall to disrupt everything. I think saw her. I think she was even breaking a bottle to, and everywhere was scattered. What would you say really went wrong there? Is it that she wasn't really taking note of these differences we're talking about?
So growing up, while I was in uni, many years ago, I went to a relationship program, and the speaker said, if you are in a relationship for 3 years. And when I mean 3 years, I mean you both are ready to get married. Like you both have the financial ability, you've got what it takes to start a family. You've got what it takes to get married. You've got, not that because you're a student. I don't mean that, because I know that some relationships start with, being students and you are still like studying, you are not working yet, you don't have that finance coming in. And so by the time you finish uni, it's way past the 3 years and maybe heading to 5 years, depending on what course you study. Some people do like the doctors who study for over 5 years and then they have a relationship at the beginning. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a relationship where you both are working, you have that ability to get married and you are in this relationship for 3 years and the man is not speaking up. I know we from Africa, we want the man to speak up first. These generations is not anymore like that. However, even if the man doesn't speak up, is the man showing signs? Are you having discussions that is leading to that area?
Yeah.
Are you having those discussions? Is the man talking about you being a part of his life in the nearest future? Is the man talking about, I would like to grow old with you, even though he hasn't proposed? Is he talking about those things? If he's not having any topic like that, and you have it in your head, you are waiting patiently for this man to speak up, and he's not speaking up, and you even prompt him in a way, and he still doesn't speak up, the speaker said that relationship, leave it, because the man will never speak up. The man will never be ready for you. And because if you keep on pushing, you keep on like, oh, he's gonna speak up someday. He's gonna speak up. Just like in the case of this woman, she kept persisting, enduring, waiting 9 years, and the man never spoke. And no, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, I feel 9 years is a long time to be in a question mark relationship. Question mark meaning, where is this relationship heading to? What are we doing? It's a long time. And I know by the year 4, year 5 mark, she should know that this man wants to get married to me. And I believe she knew. She knew the signs, but she just felt if she gives more, if she does her best, if she, changes this, changes her hairstyle, changes the way she dresses, cooks, more food for him, he's going to change his mind and, marry her. But that's not what it is. Because when this man met her, she wasn't those things that she's trying to change into. He met her for who she was. But along the line, for whatever reason, the man might have felt, okay, she's not the one for me. But yeah, he did not speak up and say to her, let's not do this relationship anymore. Go your own way. I want to get married to someone else. But she let the relationship go on because she thought as much she gives, that will change the man's mind. But clearly it did not work to her benefit.
She thought the more she gives, the more the man will want her, but it never worked to her benefit. Wow. Now this makes us understand that it's not by what you give, it's not really it. If you like, getting married back in Nigeria and starting to have helps coming to the house, and I don't know if I don't know, both of you should have experienced that, but though, you try to be so nice, you try to be so, so the same, you want to make clothes for your kids, you make the same thing for them, you do everything, but when they want to really walk away, they don't care the situation they are leaving you. Whether you're sick, I remember of a friend back then, she gave birth to triplets. The day she gave birth in the hospital, the maid said she was leaving.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. So I'm just using that as a scenario here to tell you that no matter what you give, no matter what how nice you think you want to be, because we're taught from my background, oh, be nice, be good, be respectful, I think it has a way of, making us believe that, oh, this be nice is just, yeah, it's a normal thing. There's no big deal about it.
Yeah.
Coming here now, I realize that it's a very normal thing, and when you now wear that garment of thinking that you want to just be nice, that is now your name. It doesn't keep a man, because that is not the quality a man is actually looking for. So I believe in that girl's case, like what you guys said, I think maybe the signs were really there for 9 years. What was she thinking? For 9 years, isn't that really too long to date somebody? But nobody is even, well, how many people really go into marriage these days? People are into partnership, doing their thing, right? So that is the number for me is not the problem, but the problem for me is after the 9 years, the man deciding to go marry another person legally,
Yeah.
I think for me that is a problem. So the question
Yeah,
is,
and also I
what
would
do you
like to say,
think?
is it that she wasn't seeing any signs all of these years
Exactly what I wanted to
that
ask. The question is that don't you think the girl herself was not maybe probably it didn't meet up to the standard of this guy? Or probably could it be that maybe the man was a manipulator, so he wasn't seeing the signs coming, like, is it possible? What do you think really kept her there for 9 years and the man never saw any reason to truly see her as a wife? Does it mean she truly just, gave up on herself? She abandoned herself. Everything was just about the man, and the man just wanted someone that can be real to him also. What do you think?
I guess she would have seen all the signs. But okay, let's say early in the relationship, she was herself. Okay, they're going on, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, I'm waiting so long, and this man is not saying anything. Is there something I can do differently to make this man say something? Then she changes and begin to please the man and begin to do everything for the man. And she's like forgetting her own self-worth and sacrificing so much for this person. She forgets herself. But on the other hand, the man can see that this person has changed. She's like doing every single thing to please me, but that's not what I really want. I just want her to be herself. That could be another problem as well, because the man can see that and go, no, I don't think this is what I want. I just want a different thing. And another thing could be that the pretense. I don't know how a man can actually pretend for 9 years and you are not seeing it
No,
as
no,
a
no, no, no.
woman.
Some people can do it. Where you truly, maybe you've not met that word, the person called a manipulator. Some people can actually do it. In a minute, they make you feel loved. In a minute, they hurt you. In
Yeah.
a minute, they are, I don't know.
They're hot and cold. It's called
Yeah.
what? Love bombing. They go hot and cold. When they go cold, you complain, oh, why you this to me? And they're like, no, I am not. I just needed time to myself. And they start showing you so much love, and that's bombing you with love. And you think to yourself, okay, I must be crazy. I must be overthinking things. And you sort of, okay, rearrange things and you go back to way. But this is an occurrence that it keeps happening. And it's like you are complaining for something that is not there. It's like he's gaslighting you. He's telling you that what you are thinking is not true. It's
not
just
real.
all in your head.
Yeah.
No, just calm down. I just went out with friends to get a couple of drinks. Nothing happened. A woman sent him a message. Oh, don't that woman? No, there's nothing going on there. And that's the thing. You make excuses. You believe him, but at the end of the day, all of these are the red flags we're talking about.
Yeah.
All of the things you are seeing, you're giving him that opportunity to explain it away.
Okay.
Then you buy his explanation and you carry on. And like you said, he might be a manipulator. Maybe there's something he's gaining from her, and he just needed her around for as long as he needs to and move away from her. So There you
It
go.
could be so many factors. Mrs. Ossai, do you have any more contribution to that?
No, I think we've said it all. Where I do agree, he could be a manipulator, like Emarita said. You know, when the lady says something, then he shows her all the love, because there are actually some men who do something wrong, and then when they realize they've done something wrong, they buy all the flowers and all the gifts, you know, to this woman, and the woman will be like, oh, okay, my partner has changed. He's come back to the right path. Then he goes again and does the same thing, and then
It will change for 1 month.
yeah,
Goes bounces back to his wrist
and buys you more flowers and more chocolates and more gifts, and then you go, okay. So it keeps on going and lingering, and it goes for years, and all of a sudden, the man in the process finds someone else that maybe there is a quality or there is something in that person that he wants or he likes and that he hasn't seen in you, to spend the rest of his life with you, and then decide to leave you and go for that person. So you just need to be careful to read all those signs, because usually there are always signs to pick up.
Always signs. The truth is that I hate it when people say this person has changed. And I tell you that nobody changes. It's because you refuse to open your eyes and see it. Maybe because
they can't change unless they want to.
They want to. You can't change them. They will change if they want to change.
Thank you. Yeah. You know, so when you come up and start crying that, oh, this person wasn't like this before, I tell you, he has always been like that. You refuse to see it. Maybe because of, like you said, the flowers, the gift and all that. The signs are always there. They are always, sometimes they are even very visible than what we think. But who knows? You know, my husband was telling me a story. He was reading out the story for me of, I think, a lady that got married to someone based in Canada, and he never knew the man has been married for 15 years and all that and all that. And he was talking, I said, well, it's all the wish of the mind. And he said, why am I so hard? I said, I'm not hard. I'm just telling you that, why is she crying now? That was her wish, but it's just that she refused to see the signs. She wished to like get married to someone that is in Canada, but she refused to understand that no one go to Canada like that, because to survive in those lands is not easy. So,
you need both incomes.
So it's just the wishes of the mind. That's why we have to, one, I think that the wishes of the mind too is something that actually mislead us too. Because when you always have something in mind, like this is the kind of person I want to date, tall, handsome, da. So why you are even seeing all this side? Because it's what you always wanted. It's difficult for you to actually walk away, because then you will not keep making excuses for them. And in the process of making excuses for them, you are truly losing yourself. You are truly over-sacrificing, which is not necessary. A man always wants to be the one at the head. He wants to be the giver. He wants to be the protector. He wants to be there. You know, nobody is saying you should not support. Nobody is saying you should not even be the giver if you want to, but there's always the right approach and the right way to do it. So let me ask this. What is the first step in realizing that someone is losing herself?
When you start getting angry, you know, you start getting angry at yourself. You start getting angry at any little thing. You feel burnout. You are tired. You are exhausted. But you are just so upset with yourself that, like, what are you doing? You know, you sit back and then you take a pause and then you think and you're like, what am I doing? I'm so mad at myself. And the person that is making you mad is actually not seeing it or even doesn't care. They actually may not even know you are angry until you explode, maybe. You know? So I think the first thing is you start to see that you're getting angry at everything. You're getting angry at yourself. You're getting angry at the person.
Mrs. Okah.
I feel, on the other hand, I think other way that you might realize, okay, I think I'm losing myself. You come to realize that this person that you think you love so much, you don't really love them, and you're like, you don't see them in the same light as you used to. Like some women hold men on a pedestal, like they put men here, and all of a sudden one day you look at this man and you're like, okay, I don't think he's that good looking. When you start having, it's like you have an eye opener, and this can happen from maybe an incident happened between you two, and you just like, okay, this man just said this to me. Actually, he's not that good looking. Actually, he's not that tall. No, he doesn't even buy me anything. Like when you come to the it hits you one day, and you realize like, I have been giving a lot to this man, but he hasn't actually done something. It might not be an incident. It might just even be a conversation with a friend, or you went to a group and they're just saying something, and then you're sitting there and thinking, do those people know about me? Are they talking about me? And you realize that is your life. You realize, or you hear a story, or you read about the story, and you think, oh, that is me that they're talking about. So you come to that realization when you have an eye opener that, okay, I've put in a lot in this relationship, and I'm not really getting anything back. And you say to yourself, it's time to cut my losses, because I think cutting your losses is better than staying in a relationship of hell, of emotional distress, for a long time.
Yeah.
Powerful. Just realizing that, no, this is not what I'm called for. When you see your energy just dropping, like, am I losing myself? Am I going crazy? Something, this is not me. Yeah. It's a moment to actually sit and think about the journey.
And this goes for not just intimate relationship. I had a friend in uni that she wasn't really fortunate, with her dad passed away when she was little, and they are like 10 children. The mother is struggling, and she really wanted to go to school. Like, I can see it in her. I met her in school that this girl wants to go to university. She wants to break up that poverty caused by their family.
Yeah.
So any way that I can help her, I help. I was a year ahead of her. So when I went to youth service, she was in her final year. Her last school fees, I paid for it. I was giving her financially, emotionally, supporting her. She's so close to my family. Even when I'm not around, she can come and stay in our house, help my mom, and do all of those things. But I realized that I'm giving and giving. And it sort of hit me one day. She called me when we were here. As I've been here, she's called me 2 or 3 times for a problem. Not just it's a monetary problem that with big amounts of money attached to it. And she will call me sometimes. She won't. She will just stop calling me for months. Then the next thing I will hear is a text message that, oh, I have this big problem. I need money. I will give it to her. The last one she did, I gave her the money, but I said to myself that this is the last time. I'm not going to give it to her. I'm not going to give her money. And if I will stop calling her. So I stopped calling her. And she stopped calling me. Then all of a sudden, she started texting me on WhatsApp again, like, how are you? How is the family? Like, it became a daily thing. How is the family? And I was saying to my husband, something is going to drop soon. Something is going to happen soon. And
it did.
It did. The next thing is, oh, I want to start sending things to Australia for you to help me sell. How are we going to do it? And I just sent her back that, I'm sorry, I don't have time to sell anything. That's not going to work. Till this very day, she hasn't spoken to me.
And this is the thing. I'm sorry. Relationship actually is a two-way thing. You cannot just be receiving and receiving, or the other person is just the one giving and giving, and you're not, receiving back or giving back in return. I mean, say in your scenario, you helping her financially because you know she doesn't have that financial support, But there are other ways to say, like, to check back on you. Hi, how are you doing? Hope everything is okay. Hope you are keeping well, Not just only when you need something, is when you want to communicate with that person. So
Exactly.
relationship is a two-way thing for it to work. If you are receiving this and you don't have that to give back, I'm sure there is some other thing.
Otherwise, I didn't expect her to buy me anything. I
Yeah.
didn't expect her to give me any gift. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. But I think it's
So
just
if I may
Taking up is
ask,
something.
if I may ask, at what point do you actually realize that this relationship is draining you? This is not a true relationship in any way. I have to put it to an end.
I
What
realized when she called me that they had a police issue, and we helped them with a huge amount of money to help settle that. Then a couple of months later, she called me and said, "Oh, I just want to tell you the good news. We bought a land." And I was like, "Oh, you are the same person that was on the phone crying. Did you use my money to go and buy a land and you just told me cock and bull story to be able to get money off me? Or what is it?" That was the first one. But I just left it at that.
Yeah.
The one that broke everything for me was when she hasn't spoken to me for months, and I would even say up to a year. Then somebody texted me and used her name, said, "This person said I should send you a text. She has been arrested. She's in the police station. And they are not going to release her until she pays X amount of money that she owes people." I'm like, really? But for I still went through the motions. I was like, okay, tell her to call me at so time, blah, blah, blah. And we went through that. I spoke to her. How much is the money? She told me. I sent the money. That was the end. And that is how I said no more. So I have stopped picking up her calls. I don't want that relationship anymore. It's ended now.
Like what? Go ahead.
Yeah, even if she calls me tomorrow or someone calls me tomorrow that she's in trouble, I'm just going to say, "I'm sorry. Don't call me."
You don't even need to say I'm sorry. Nobody deserves. For me, your saying no doesn't need an explanation. That is just the truth.
So I think you realize when to say no, enough is enough.
Yeah.
When you see that you are just the only one giving out. You are just the only one giving out, and you are not receiving anything back in return. I mean, it can be anything. It can be emotional support, it can be just compliments, it can be gifts.
What like we are here, what do we get from people back home? It's just story time. They'll call and we'll sit on the phone and we talk. "Oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening." That is all we get from people back, and that is enough. It's just the fact that you remember me. You did not forget about me. Beware, I haven't forgotten about you. Remember me. I hold a space in your heart. That's what it is. I don't want to hold a space in somebody's heart to be their financial supply. No, I don't want to be that kind of person.
Yeah.
And the same thing is happening to my husband. Like, my husband's phone will sit down and his phone is ringing. I'm like, "Pick up your phone." He's like, "No, I'm not picking up that. I know what they want. I know what they want." Because it was a one-way street for him. And he's like, now he's caught it. And I'm surprised that he's even doing. He's someone that has a soft heart. He's like, "Oh, no, okay, I'll just give them." But no, he's like, enough is enough. But you lose yourself. That we're not losing ourselves, but it's really icks you that this person sees me as their source for money, but they don't see me as, "Oh, how are you? How is your..." Like, my husband had a go at his brother the other day. "Do you know my children's name? Do you know how old my children are? You don't even know those things about me, but you call me and ask me for money. That's not fair. That means you don't know me. The only thing I mean to you is money."
And I think that is why some persons miss it when it comes to relationship. It mustn't really just be even be like you said, between it's not just about romantic relationships and normal friendships.
Yeah.
I've not heard from you for a long time. How soon do you check up on somebody?
Yeah.
You even know when the person truly needs you, you know? And even in some of the ways, like, it's as simple as be vulnerable to each other. When it's one way thing, it doesn't work. Like what she said too, it has to be two-way thing. You know what I mean? So those are the little ways some people misses it. Like what you just said, what she was just using you for was just, she was just using you. That is just the language for it. There was no relationship there. Oh, when I need money, there's somebody to call to provide
Pretty much.
with it.
Yeah.
Then once the money is supplied, then there's a break.
Yeah.
Then she waits for another time.
Relationship.
You said? Then she waits for another time, like maybe gives you some time to rest. Then she comes back again and bounces on you. That is not the relationship. And that is just the truth. That is thinking you have, which word will I use for that? Someone that feels maybe is wiser than you, like.
Yeah.
Maybe it's trying to be manipulative. I don't even know what that means. But it's not everybody it works for.
No.
Yeah, because
it will work to an extent because you're human. You feel sorry for someone who is in a bad predicament.
Yeah.
It will work to an extent, but I think for me, the ability for me to sort of sit down and think, hang on a moment, I haven't heard from this person for so long.
Exactly.
And the same thing goes to people that stay in relationships for 10 years. You have to give yourself that hang on a minute moment and say, we have been in this relationship for 5, 6 years. What's going on? What are we doing? Not reflecting, not being self-aware. That is so bad because you just go through life like that, jolly, like everything is okay. But it's not, because when it finally hits you, I think the repercussions are will be very, very bad. It's not something that, you can deal with easily.
Yeah.
The repercussion can be very, very bad. It's not something you can deal with easily. Sometimes you might not even be alive to tell the story. I tell you the truth. Many are not alive to tell their stories. So you cannot afford to put yourself in such a situation. And like what Emma said, relationship ought to be felt, it ought to be reviewed, and it ought to be perceived. You must carry this attribute into any relationship you are going to. And before you can do that, you must have set a standard for yourself. You must know who you are. You must know what you want. You must know your needs. And sometimes I want to believe, like the story of the 9 over a decade of being in a relationship. And sometimes I have to think it's surrendered by a decision. What do we really want? What are your needs? Like what she was saying. How do you go into a relationship 2, 3, 4, 5 years and you did not perceive it, that this relationship wasn't working out? For you to even come out to disrupt that wedding, fine. Everyone will clap for you, insult the other party. But the truth is that you sold yourself completely.
Well, in some cases, you get arrested. No?
In some cases, you get arrested. That is just the truth. So if it were to be in those cases, then what happened to you? What story will you be telling? Is it not shame enough that, okay, the person even left you? Fine, there's no shame in there. You don't need to shame yourself. But what I'm trying to say, there should be a moment of truth where you realize that I have missed it. It's time for me to learn from my mistake and move on. Because carrying out that art means that you have not learned from your mistakes. Meaning there was really something, at this point, I would say, meaning the guy really knew you very well. That was why he decided not to. So I think knowing that this relationship is not good enough for me, I am losing myself.
Yeah.
Coming to that point in your life is very paramount. Not all relationships are meant to last forever.
Yeah.
And if finding yourself makes you whole, then so be it. You find yourself. Believe in you. Don't ignore your instinct.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. So if I will ask, for someone wanting to reclaim their voice without fearing rejection, what do you think they can do differently to actually reclaim their voice?
I'm going to say set boundaries. It's really important in any relationship, regardless of who that relationship is with, to actually set a boundary. Just keeping yourself safe, because when you set boundary, you are keeping yourself safe. And when you realize that that person is like crossing the boundary, you know when to stop it. You know. So the first thing is to set boundaries. In that way, you can actually keep yourself safe. Make it clear what you want. It's very important to actually make it known, make it clear in any relationship what you really want. And this can come in form of simple conversations. You're not like writing pen and paper and trying to write the rules and regulations. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the process of you conversing with your friend, you can actually, they can read, they can tell what you want without you having to like say, this is what I want, you know? But in the process of conversing with the person, they will be able to understand, oh, this is this person's quality, this is this person's goal, this is what this person wants. And it can happen in any kind of relationship, be it marital, be it friendship, in any way. It can happen like that. Secondly, I'm going to say, give yourself a check-in, you know, check in with yourself often to see how you are feeling mentally, emotionally, physically, so that you are not worn out in trying to give your best to people, in trying to please people. You don't get overly exhausted and worn out. And then the thirdly, I'm going to just say, tell someone how you feel, you know, how you are feeling. That's going to help you a lot. And then reclaim your identity.
Thank you for that point. Back to Mrs. Okah. Back to Mrs. Okah. How can someone rebuild self-worth after years of self-abandonment?
So if you are in a relationship that have really, really made you abandon your core values in yourself, and you feel that it's going to be challenging to continue that relationship, if you know, to go through the process of reclaiming yourself, I would say walk away. If that relationship is damaged, like you have made so much concession in that relationship that it's hard to walk it back, to say, oh, actually, I don't really like that. That's not who I am. Because the other person might not receive it very well. If you think it's too hard, walk away from that relationship. Start rebuilding yourself. Go to therapy. Don't abandon your core values. We all have values and beliefs that are dear to us that we don't want to, you know, make concessions of. We are not giving a take. We don't trade those for anything. Like, you know, for me, I don't trade my independence for anything. I don't. No matter what, I was saying to my husband, even if you become a billionaire tomorrow, I believe I will still work 1 or 2 days a week, because even if it's opening a business, I want something that is mine. You know, I'm not going to rely on you 100%. No. So that is my core value. And that is what I've always been about, you know, being independent, making something for myself. So do not make concessions with core values. Heal. Don't jump into other relationship, be it an intimate one or just, you know, a platonic friendship. Do not. If friends are your problem, that friends are always causing you heartache, you're always giving to friends and they are not giving you anything in return, step away. Love yourself first. Be friends with your own self before you can be friends with others, because when they don't show up for you, you know you have yourself. You know you love yourself and you can show up for yourself.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love
going to add one more point that says you can't not make everyone happy.
Wow.
You just need to realize that you can't. Because in the process of you trying to make your spouse, your partner, like making them happy without them returning it to you, you tend to abandon yourself. So you need to actually realize that you cannot please everyone. You cannot, it is actually impossible for you to please everyone. It's
It is
impossible.
actually impossible for you to please everyone. Don't stop pleasing people, but don't be people's pleaser. This is a two different thing. Yeah. You cannot always be people's pleaser, whether it hurts you, whether it makes you mad, you are smiley, no. People treat you the way you treat yourself. And people are watching, people are observing. Carry yourself like you know you. And before you can do that, you must know you, your self-worth, your self-values, like what my co-presenters have said. What makes you you? What makes you unique? What is your identity? Discover you. The first step is really to discover you. Don't think I am alone in this. No, we are here for you. We are all here for you. We have been there. I have been there. When it's like, I just have to put on the smiley face, no matter what it is. I just have to make sure everyone is happy, even when it was not okay, even when I was burning. But it comes to a point in your life, you have to realize you and know that if I continue like this, I will just be getting frustrated every day. Because it came to a point in my life that I have to pick up my journal and I start writing. Like, at that point, I've set my boundaries. Like what Shishi said, you must learn to set your boundaries. If you must succeed in this world, you must set your boundaries. Like what Mrs. Okah just said, what she did with her friend was to set a boundary. It's not rejection, it's setting boundaries because she's realized the area where she's not being too careful and someone is using it as an opportunity. Sometimes when we are over nice, people use it against us. And I wrote down on my journal, when I keep to my boundaries, how do I feel? And the answers were clear. Peace of mind, sense of joy, no disturbance. I'm very okay with myself. My mental health is intact. But the times that I abandon my boundaries, how do I feel? Resentment, burnout, frustrated. And when I'm in that space, it's not good. When I'm in that space, oh my God, you won't like me. Forget this laughter here. It's like, and I realized that, okay, I'm trying to please people and I'm not my best self. So the irony of it, I can't even give my best to those people I'm trying to please. So in both ways, I am not doing well. So why pretending? It's not necessary. So the real thing is just be you. Stop losing yourself because they are not seeing you. They are seeing that part of you that is performing and surviving. You must smile, wear a natural smile. Throw that pretense away. Okay? Because when you think you are keeping them, you are losing them in both ways. You are losing both parties, yourself and whoever you think you are keeping. Like we said, it can be a romantic relationship. It can just even be friendship. Forget it. Even that friendship, you will lose it at the end of the day. And that is the truth. So this takes us back to our take-home points. So I want you to say just a word, your very last word of encouragement to just one person out there that is truly hurt at this moment. Fine, he has been in this place of, he or she has been in this space of losing herself. And for all the, for everything he or she has done, she still ended up losing that relationship. What is your advice for such a person?
I'm going to say that, honestly, you can't be the person they need if you are losing yourself. Being whole and healthy yourself is actually the most important thing you can do for other people as well. Especially if you're in a relationship with your partner, being whole, being yourself is the best thing you can do. Being mentally strong, is the best thing you can do for yourself. You cannot be the person they want if you are losing yourself. So get a grip of yourself.
Thank you. All right, Mrs. Okah, what do you have to tell someone listening to this podcast right now that is truly hurt? She's broken. She's in tears, emotionally broken, because she's once been in that place of self-abandonment, and everything she's worked for is down the drain.
I would say walk away from all the noise, all of the noise. Just walk away. Figuratively, in real life, just walk away from the noise and do a self checklist. What got me to this point? What did I get wrong? Where did I miss the ball? Or drop the ball? What did I do wrong? What signs did I ignore? What concessions did I make? How much of my boundaries did I cross? How much of my core beliefs did I have to abandon to be this person? Because clearly this is not who you are. Go and do a self-check help. Look after yourself. Put yourself first. Thinking about yourself first is not being selfish. You have to love yourself, both emotionally and mentally, for you to be able to love other people.
Both emotionally and mentally, for you to be able to love others. Because the truth is, you can give what you don't have. You can give what you don't have. You want intimacy, have it with yourself first. You're going through that pain, fine, like what my co-presenter said, get your journal. Stop the shame, stop the self-pity. It doesn't change anything. And whatever happens, it makes you a better person, if only you can learn from it. So the most important thing is, Ashley, to sit down with your journal, like what my co-presenter said, and go into deep reflection. Write down everything you need to write down. What you have learned, what will help you in your next journey, what can be a guide to you. Write it down. I tell you the truth, that thing you think is a big deal, in a minute you will say that it was all for a better you. Okay? You only learn, please, but don't repeat same mistake. Don't repeat the same mistake. You cannot change anybody. People will always be who they are. And if you are real, the real ones will be attracted to you. And that is the truth. People that sees you for who you are will love you for who you are. Okay, so these are some of our take-home points for today's podcast. If you've been with us to this time, we say a big thank you. And the number one take-home point here is, don't trade what is priceless for what is temporary. Like Esau, don't be tempted to give away your voice. Don't be tempted to give away your values, your self-worth, no matter how tempting it is. Please do not trade what is priceless for what is temporary. Your birthright is your identity. Protect it. In a relationship, your birthright is your truth, your boundaries, your worth. Once you give it away, I tell you the truth, it's hard to reclaim. Very, very hard to reclaim. Love should never require self-abandonment. No. If someone truly loves you, why will they want you to abandon yourself for him or her? No. Look for that one that the Bible says, for the man shall live and cleave, and the two shall become one. That is the real one. He that loves you will love you unconditionally. Okay? It doesn't stop us from building on ourselves, developing ourselves, but not losing yourself for love. No. Self-awareness is your self-guard. So if you've listened to us to this point, and you've got some awareness that you've lost it in some areas of your life, then you're on the right lane. Okay? Now, short-term relief can cause long-term loss. Don't take this for granted. Don't use little moment of enjoyment to endure long-term suffering. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Please do not do that. Boundaries preserve connection. They don't destroy it. They are your clarity. Mrs. Chichi said so much about boundaries. Please, if you don't know how to set boundaries, look out for this page because we talk so much about boundaries. Because one of the qualities of actually loving yourself is for you to set your boundaries. If you don't set your boundaries, then you are out for it. People will use you, and they will so use you, before you realize it, you are empty. Trust me. Now, reclaim yourself. Reclaiming yourself is possible. Like my co-presenters have said, please, it is very possible. They gave so much point on that. Listen to what they said. Sit down, reflect on yourself, learn from it. Go for therapy if it is necessary. If you are in that point in your life, please go for therapy. Don't think you can handle it because some hits harder than some.
Yeah.
And you know how you feel about it. Talk to someone about it. Don't keep it to yourself. Okay? Talk to someone about it. And as you do this, I tell you the truth, it will give you more clarity. And this will help to shape you and to make you a more confident and independent woman or man which you ought to be. All right, so I want to leave you with this. When you give away your voice, your boundaries, your truth, just to be loved, you are not actually beloved. You are be tolerated, and you deserve more than tolerance. You deserve to be seen, to be heard. You deserve to be loved for the fullness of who you are, not the fragments you think you are accepted for. The people who truly love you won't be threatened by your strength, your honesty, or your boundaries. No, they won't. They will be drawn to it. And if they walk away where you finally stand in your truth, please let them go. Because you are not losing them. You are simply finding you. So my prayer for you today is this: may you never trade your self-worth for temporary affection. And may you always remember that you can't be who they need if you are losing yourself. We would love to hear your thoughts, experiences, challenges on this topic. I would love it if you can drop them in the comments. Please do like, share, and tag a friend who needs this reminder. And don't forget to reach out to us through the link in our bio. Until next time, Always remember to nurture the relationship that truly matters with yourself. And with genuine relationship, we can make the world a better place. And that starts with you.